Hey everyone, what's up? Happy Friday. Hopefully you're heading home from work. Weekend has begun. I'm at home. I worked from home all day. It was awesome. I wanted to share with you more about my intimacy support group that is coming up May 1st. I think this is my seventh or eighth one, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. It's a 6-week support group, and I call it a support group because so many of us struggle with intimacy issues and love and with relationships, and we keep ending up in the wrong relationship and staying in it for too long, or we keep breaking up and just not finding the right person. Other ways we sabotage are like, leaving a relationship when things are actually going well and just kind of creating problems that aren't there and blowing the whole thing up and leaving. There's so many ways that we are afraid of intimacy and that we are defended and block love from fully coming into our lives. I've done it myself, and that's why I made this course, because it was messing up my love life and my career in different areas that I was so blocked. And so once I realized that, I took tons of courses and became a therapist so that I would overcome these walls and let love in. And sure enough, once I did that, I attracted the love that I wanted, which is my current partner. And so I had to work on myself in order to do that. It's why I always post about how, you find yourself, you find your soulmate. Because when you focus on yourself, when you focus on developing your own interests and finding the love that you want in other things rather than relying on the guy to give it to you, that's where you start to flourish as a person. And when we do that, we become so magnetic to other people. We pull them in. They feel it. They feel that we are connected to ourselves. Just think about it. Imagine being on a date and you're talking about yourself and you're so psyched about what you're talking about your career and how you're loving it, and some class that you're taking that you're totally into. You become a more passionate, engaging, interesting person to them. And unless you're really connecting with yourself, and by that I mean connecting with your passions and your desires and being out in the world doing those things and being alive, if we're not doing that, we're gonna feel a dull feeling, and people are gonna pick up on that and be less interested in us. Makes sense, right? Like, that was totally happening in my life. I became so much more interesting to myself when I got out there and started doing things and creating things instead of just being in a relationship and hiding out in there. You know what I'm saying? So I teach you how to come out from the back room of life up into the front window. And I teach you about ways that we sabotage through 30 different defenses that we have, like addictions, drugs, alcohol, sex addiction, work addiction, shutting down or avoiding silences, fear of success, under-earning, acting the way you imagine someone wants you to act. What else? Being sarcastic, using humor to avoid intimacy. What else? Not talking on the phone, just texting to hide behind your phone, or just using online apps instead of actually going out on a date. You just intrigue and swipe and do all that without actually meeting in person. I help you get out into the world and drop your defenses. And we do that through an experiential lab that is the small group that we create with the support group. And you test out what it's like to take that mask off for a minute in the exercises that I've developed. And you get to experience what life could feel like if you stop pretending. When we show up as our most authentic self, I see it again and again and again in my groups. People fall in love with you. They fall in love with your vulnerability. Our vulnerability is our most powerful asset. Whether it's in your family or in your romantic relationship or on a date, vulnerability is attractive. And if it's not attractive to someone, maybe they aren't the right person for you. Maybe they aren't evolving their own communication style or their connection with themselves. And maybe you're, doing more of that and you're not a match. So I help you learn to weed out the wrong matches for you, so you stop trying to jam that square peg into the round hole with relationships that just are not a fit for you. But you end up in the wrong relationships when you're not connected to yourself, when you're not slowing down and being more mindful and meditating and listening to what those voices inside you are saying you really need and what you really want. So I'm trying to share these practices with as many people as I possibly can, because I honestly believe it can change the world. That we are having reckless, harmful communication with our defenses all the time, at home, in our romantic relationships, at work, and we're blowing up our relationships and causing them to end, or causing people to really resent us. Now, when you learn the tools that I teach you, you approach with a way gentler way of being in how you communicate that actually draws people into you and has people trusting you way more. So you become more trustworthy. I had one person take my course who shared that he actually used the mindful communication tools on his hairdresser, and that he and his hairdresser ended up in this like super intimate connection while and after she was cutting his hair. And she was like, where did you learn to talk like this? Like, this is so amazing. Like, guys, I will tell you, women love when you can get their world. Now, what does that mean? It means being an empathic listener. It means when someone is talking to you, instead of saying, oh, that happened to me once, let me tell you about me. Instead of that, when they're talking, you say, tell me more. You say things like, what was that like? And then you say again, tell me more. What was that like? And you draw people out. So they start to open up more and more to you. And you give them space and time to really show up authentically. And people feel that and they're like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, this is so amazing, is often the response. It's really powerful stuff. So you can find out more by definitely send me a private message if you're interested and you feel pulled or called to learn this mindful communication technique that I've developed. It's a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a combination of Gestalt, which is a really incredible therapeutic approach, and psychodrama. I've combined all the best trainings and exercises that I've learned over the years as a participant and also as a social worker in school, getting my master's to become a therapist. I've combined and handpicked all of the best stuff I could to help people come out of their shell and be better listeners, but also be better conversationalists, where you're actually sharing feelings rather than just your thoughts and talking about the weather and having boring conversations. I teach you how to have really awesome conversations that leave an impression, that like people will notice the change in you. They really will, and it impresses people. And it really magnetizes them to you. And what I hear a lot is there's so much relief when they connect with you. They feel relief because they can tell that they don't have to like keep up this charade that we're all doing so often in having conversations about stuff, about work, about this, about that, and not staying in the present moment talking about, but wait, what's it like with our connection right now? What's it like connecting with me in this moment? How do you feel now? When you start to talk about that stuff, your conversations start to pop. You like blow the lid off your conversations, and life gets so much more exciting. And if you don't do something about your intimacy issues, it's a big problem, because I was on that path. I was on that path of not doing anything about my intimacy issues. This psychologist, I remember I was riding in a car with her, and she saw how I was blocked, but I didn't see it yet. And this woman crossed the street in front of us walking her dog alone, and she turned to me and she said, you know, Allison, I've seen that girl out walking her dog, my neighbor, day in, day out. She's in her 40s. She's alone. She's always alone. I don't want that to happen to you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not afraid of intimacy. I'm so open. I'm so willing. I want a relationship. And she was like, no. I know it sounds crazy, but you don't understand yet. You are blocked. You're pushing away the love that you want. You're not ready for it because you don't think that you're enough. Hey, Christy. Thank you. I'm glad it's helpful. So I had no idea what she was talking about, but it freaked me the hell out. Okay? So I started working with this woman more to find out, sorry, someone's texting, to find out what she was talking about. And I got to the core of it. I was blocked. And if I hadn't gotten unblocked, I would not have met my partner, okay? It never would have happened. And I never would have found the career that I'm in now that I absolutely love, because I was so blocked from connecting with my deeper desires. I had these layers of years of being told what I should do, or, you know, just going down the wrong paths. And I learned how to connect with myself through getting sober, through meditation, through yoga, through putting myself in the front window and meeting people and saying yes, becoming a yes person. And I post about this stuff all the time in my blog because I'm trying to explain what you have to lose if you keep ignoring your intimacy issues. Okay? Like, you will not even realize all the dreams and all the amazing things that are being robbed of you. And not only that, but you'll be too afraid to share vulnerably to people you really love about how you love them and what they mean to you. You know, I have this project on Facebook about compliments, where you give me a compliment, I give you a compliment. And you can do it here. You can give me a compliment, I'll give you a compliment back in the comments and tag you. Because I wanted to do that project so that you realize how good it feels for us to tell each other what we mean to each other, and we so rarely do it. And then people die and we go to their funeral, and then, only then, are we telling them like what they meant to us, and it's too late. So do you really want to live your life like not telling people what they mean to you until it's too late? And so that's one thing I wanted to demonstrate in this project that I did. You can find it on my personal Alison Bulman Facebook page, just page down. It's the Love You Make is the Love You Take compliment, Facebook compliment challenge. You can just do it here. You can just do the compliment here, and I'll compliment you back. But you know, the ways that we are conditioned, these ridiculous etiquettes that tell us that we shouldn't tell each other what we mean to each other, is just like so messed up. Think about all the times throughout the day that you have a positive thought about someone and you don't articulate it. You don't say, oh, you know, your eye color is so gorgeous, or I love the way you just expressed yourself. Or, you know, it meant so much to me when you offered support, you know, whatever it is. Like, how often are we doing that? It's so rare that we express gratitude. Hey, Cherry, good to see you. It's so rare that we express to each other out there what we mean to each other. And it's really sad. So I'm continuing this compliments project to keep it going. And it's something I teach in my course as well, is we do these practices where, like, you know, you'll go up to one other person in the group and I guide you to tell them like why you chose them as someone who had the most impact on you. And you have to tell them in the group, thanks, Cherry. You have to tell them in the group like what they mean to you. So we do practices like that to kind of break you in stick your toe in the water, and you get to see like how it fills you with so much joy and excitement and aliveness when you take these risks in your life and you tell people scary stuff, like what they really mean to you, or you ask someone out, or any number of things that we're holding in all the time. And I show you how to step out and do that in ways that you're willing to do. And you get to see how incredible it feels. And over the course of the 6-week group that's starting May 1st, you start to break yourself in so that what people report is after the first couple weeks, you're out in your life and you start breaking these barriers and you start using these communication tools to change your life and change your interactions. I know Cherry shared that she was having, she's watching now, she was having, better interactions with her neighbors and other people. You start to really feel movement and change in your life, right? So again, the group is starting Wednesday, May 1st. You can sign up at intimacities.com. Click on the tab for the Intimacy Support Group. And the early bird ends next Wednesday, which is April 17th. So you get a big discount if you sign up before April 17th. So go there now, jump in. It's a limited group as far as, I cut it off around 8 to 10 people so that everyone has a chance to share. So the sooner you sign up, the better, so it doesn't close out. And I would love to see you there. Also note that at intimacities.com, I have an online course. I have an online course that is the support group, but it's instead me in these recorded videos, similar to this, where it's 6 videos that you have access to, where I get into way more personal stories about how I broke through my own intimacy issues and came out the other side, and how you can too. I absolutely love this course. I just launched it 2 weeks ago. And if you're not able to attend, if you're somewhere else in the world and you're not able to attend the New York City support group that starts on May 1st, you can get the online course and you can watch it from home at your own pace with as many replays as you want. And then you really learn by watching over and over. You learn these tools and really integrate them into your life. So again, if you have any questions, you should comment here in the comments, or you should private message me. Definitely go to intimacities.com. You can read all about under the tab for the Intimacy Overhaul online group. There's also the tab for the Intimacy Support Group. The Intimacy Support Group is the in-person group, okay? So yeah, shoot me a message or do an emoji, whatever, and I will respond. Do a compliment, I will respond and give you a compliment if you compliment in these comments. You can right now be part of that project I mentioned. It's super fun, and you'll get like a hit of joy from it when I compliment you, hopefully. All right, so thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to the next Facebook Live. Take care.